All right, let's talk about the Los Angeles Chargers. Obviously, the Chargers have had a heck of an offseason, a lot of big time moves, some good. The hiring of Harbaugh, some disappointing. Obviously, two great wide receivers leaving this franchise, but we're focusing, of course, on the NFL draft now, just a few short days away. And everything right now, based on some late breaking news this afternoon and evening, shows that the Chargers are in absolutely perfect position. Let's get into the sort of selection of reports. There's a lot of news here, and we'll go into why it's a great sign for the Chargers. So this first one up is I'll just read through this first couple right here. Via Jordan Renan of ESPN.com, the Giants have explored trading up from the 6th overall pick in the draft. Renan says the belief is that the Giants hope to land North Carolina quarterback Drake May. All right, the next report involves Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos. Manning has said he had talked with J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback prospect, and know that there's mutual interest between the team and the Michigan quarterback who won last season's national championship. I know Denver is very interested in him, and it sounded like a place he'd love to come to, but it's a little bit out of his control, Manning told Denver Sports 104.3. All right, now we got two more reports, and then we'll explain how this is great for Los Angeles. This next report says the Commanders have signaled publicly and privately that they're not interested in moving off the number 2 overall pick. And the final report is, per Mike Garofalo of NFL Media, the Raiders are among the clubs that reached out to the Commanders about number 2, even after General Manager Adam Peters said in his pre-draft press conference that Washington wasn't inclined to make a deal. All four of these reports are courtesy of NBC Sports. So what does this mean right now for the Los Angeles Chargers? It means, based on all reports, that picks 1, 2, and 3 are set in stone as quarterbacks. Any trade up to those spots likely are not going to happen. The Arizona Cardinals all offseason has said, we're not trading for unless you give us a king's ransom, because everyone, I think, understands they want Marvin Harrison Jr. And that means the Los Angeles Chargers are in a great position. And we're now seeing a bunch of reports. The New York Giants at 6. We're looking at the Las Vegas Raiders at 13, the Broncos at 12, the Minnesota Vikings at 11 and 23. All four of those teams. And you know what? Sometimes there's usually a surprising team. So there may be a fifth team lurking behind the radar right now. In fact, the Atlanta Falcons have come out recently, said they've seen a lot of interest for their spot at number 8 as well. So there's a lot of action to move up in the NFL draft in a few short days to select a quarterback. And the Chargers are in the perfect position to capitalize on it. And I think all of this means, here's the most important part, that the Chargers are about to pull off the biggest move of the offseason. They're about to get an absolute haul, trading back from number 5 to whoever wants to give up the most to that position to draft their franchise quarterback. That's my opinion anyway. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on this, but first, Chargers fans in the comment section below, I think we're about to see the greatest trade in Chargers history. That's my point. But what do you think the greatest trade in Chargers history was? There's a few interesting ones that come around. You can go back, of course, to the 2001 NFL draft as one that probably comes to mind, but there's a lot of interesting ones throughout this team's history. So give us in the comment section below your favorite trade in Chargers history. But Mize, give me your thoughts on all of these things just coming into motion for the Chargers to potentially make a massive deal here with their number 5 pick.
Yeah, Nick, I think this draft has set a premium on the quarterback position. I've seen a lot of mock drafts, pundits come out and give their thoughts about what this year's draft is. And, quite frankly, there's never been more than 20 players offensively on the offensive side of the ball to go in the first round of the draft. I've seen multiple mock drafts this year showing 21 plus players going in the first round this year on the offensive side of the football. That is largely because there seems to be a huge premium and a huge run on the quarterback position this year. I think we're going to see 5, probably 6 quarterbacks go in the first round this year. It's going to be absolutely insane. And like you said, the Chargers are placed perfectly to be the, first position that somebody is absolutely going to have a option to move up and get a quarterback. 1, 2, 3, lockdown. There's not really much you can do there. Those guys are going to get who they're going to get. We know the Bears getting Caleb Williams. We're pretty sure the Commanders getting Jaden Daniels. We don't really know who the Patriots or whoever's at 3 is going to take, but they're going to take a quarterback. We know that much. We know that the Cardinals really want Marvin Harrison Jr. Now you go to, that number 5 pick. I think the Chargers, like you said, are set up so good. And you see all of these things. It seems like teams are desperate. The Raiders reaching out saying, hey, we really want 2, even though they said, hey, we're not going to trade 2. It sounds like the Raiders are crawling to get whoever they could possibly get to trade with them so they can move up and get a quarterback. They need a quarterback on this roster. I just see dollar signs in the form of picks for the Chargers, getting everything they could possibly want, probably more than anyone's ever gotten for the number 5 pick, just because all of the clamoring and all of the offensive firepower in this draft. I think the Chargers, like you said, are set up really, really well, and I am excited about this trade as well. I'm on board with you. I think this is going to be huge for the Chargers.
Well, because especially you look at teams, whether it's the Raiders, whether it's the Broncos, whether it's the Vikings, and you look at their situation is that if they sit there and say, listen, we'll just wait till the early second round or we'll trade back into the first round, there are other teams in the middle of the first round that have been interested in quarterbacks and have been, linked to a number of quarterbacks. You look, of course, about the Los Angeles Rams. They're looking to potentially draft Matthew Stafford's replacement. You look at the Tampa Bay Buccaneers potentially if Baker Mayfield isn't their long-term answer, right? You go down the list. You look at the Seattle Seahawks here. They're looking for maybe a potential new franchise quarterback. Geno Smith, their quarterback, is getting up there in age. So none of these teams can sit there and just say, we'll just let the quarterback slide and we'll make a move at the back end of the first round. If they do that, then they'll lose out on them because one of these other teams, Rams, Seahawks, or whoever, will scoop up those quarterbacks in the middle of the first round. Everyone knows the number 5 pick is the window to get the 4th best quarterback, whether that's J.J. McCarthy, whether that's Michael Penix Jr. I think it's anyone's particular flavor. I think a lot of people have McCarthy higher than Penix Jr. I think it's just a matter of taste at this point. But you look at a team like the Vikings, right? They all in to get a quarterback this offseason. They got to make a move. The Giants now reportedly want to go up and get a quarterback. They're not happy with Daniel Jones. The Raiders have been very vocal about the fact of potentially making a trade. The Falcons are kind of lingering around there. Now the Denver Broncos are in the mix as well. This is a crazy time of year. There's a lot of action, and it's all pointed right at the number 5 pick. And I think Joe Ortiz and Jim Harbaugh are about to pull off one of the most, I think it's probably going to be the best trade, I think, my opinion, in Chargers history. I think they're going to get a massive haul for this selection. And it's just going to be the start of a new era of the Chargers winning a lot of games and finally making deep playoff runs once again.